Amara, I beg you. I will give you everything I have, my wrappers, my golden comb, even my bead necklace Mama gave me. Please don't do this to me. You think because you're beautiful, kind, and loved by everyone that you'll always be the star? You think Mama and Papa will never look at anyone? After today, Nnenna, the world will forget you, and they will love me instead. This river will swallow you whole.
Then, with a swift push, Amora sent her sister crashing into the forbidden waters of River Teola. In the quiet village of Obokiri, there lived two sisters, Nnenna and Amara. Daughters of the village hunter and his wife, they were raised under the same roof, ate from the same bowl, and played under the same moonlight, but their hearts could not have been more different. Nnenna, the younger one, had a light in her that warmed everyone who came close. She helped elders across narrow paths, swept the village square without being told, and sang lullabies that even the trees seemed to sway to. Her laughter was like birdsong. And it didn't take long before the villagers started saying, "That girl, Nnenna, she is a blessing." But blessings can spark bitterness. Amora, older by just 2 years, lived in Nnenna's shadow. Where Nnenna was soft-spoken, Amara was sharp-tongued. Where Nnenna was adored, Amara was tolerated. And though their parents tried to show them equal love, the village's praise only deepened the wound in Amora's heart. She began to watch her sister differently. The way people smiled when Nnenna walked by. The way boys offered to carry her calabash. The way Mama gave her the bigger meat during meals. Slowly, that jealousy turned to hatred. Then came the perfect idea. River Teola had been forbidden for many years. The elders warned of strange things, voices calling out from the water. Objects thrown into the river reappearing in dreams, and even people vanishing without a trace. No one fetched water from it anymore. A shrine had been built nearby, and even children were taught not to go near it, but Amora had a plan. One morning, as the rooster crowed and the village was still waking, she turned to Nnenna with a fake smile. "Mama said we're almost out of water. Let's go to Teola. I heard the water is cleaner and sweeter than any other stream." Nnenna hesitated. "But we are not allowed. Do you think I would put you in danger?" Amora said sweetly, already picking up her calabash. "Besides, nobody will know. We'll be back before the sun fully rises." And Nnenna, trusting her sister, followed. The river was as strange as the stories said, silent, still, and covered in thick mist. The air smelled like wet leaves and something older. Something ancient. Nnenna moved slowly, eyes wide, heart thudding. They had just reached the bank when Amora suddenly dropped her calabash, and then came the shove. Nnenna screamed. Her arms flailing, her voice echoing through the trees. But the river made no splash. It simply swallowed her whole, as if it had been waiting. Amora stood there, breathing hard, until silence returned. Then she let out a loud wail and tore her wrapper as she ran back to the village. "Help! Help!" Nnenna fell into the river. I tried to save her, but the water carried her away. The villagers gathered. Some ran to the river, but it was too late. The water was calm, as if nothing had happened. No sign of Nnenna, not even a floating calabash. Mama fainted. Papa wept. And Amora was held tightly by mourners who said she tried her best. And Amora, now sleeping in the same bed that once belonged to both sisters, began to hear dripping water in the dark. Even on dry nights. Sometimes, she would wake up coughing, her throat full of river water. Other times, she heard her name whispered faintly, "Amora, why?" And one morning, when she stepped outside, she saw Nnenna's favorite comb, wet and covered in river moss, resting at the doorstep. The elders say the forbidden river keeps secrets. But sometimes, it also sends warnings. And Amora's warning had just begun. The village of Obokiri fell into a silence it had never known. Nnenna's death hung in the air like smoke from a funeral fire that refused to die. The trees seemed quieter. The birds no longer sang as sweetly in the mornings. Even the market women, known for their loud gossip and cheerful chatter, now whispered only when necessary. Her parents were broken. Nnenna's mother did not leave her mouth for days. She wept until her eyes were too dry to cry again. She called her daughter's name at dawn, midday, and dusk, just hoping that it would summon her back somehow. Her father sat under the big iroko tree in front of the compound, his wrapper tied loosely around his waist, staring at nothing. He no longer went hunting. His once proud shoulders drooped like the branches of a dying tree. Every now and then, he would mutter, "She was just a girl. A child. Why her?" Even the village elders gathered and poured libations to the gods, begging the river spirits for forgiveness or answers. But the water of Teola remained still, silent and mysterious, revealing nothing. Villagers brought food, firewood, and water to the family compound. But what they could not bring was peace, and through it all, Amara watched. She sat quietly when others were watching, sometimes dabbing her eyes with a cloth as though wiping tears that weren't there. But when alone, her mask slipped. She stared at herself in the mirror, biting her lips. Even now, even in death, it's still all about you, Nnenna, she hissed under her breath. The sympathy she thought would come never did. The villagers looked at her, but their eyes never softened. Their smiles never reached their eyes. Some of them nodded politely, but their feet kept walking. Mothers still mentioned Nnenna's name when warning their daughters to be obedient. Children still sang songs that Nnenna had taught them. Her name floated around like incense smoke, delicate, but impossible to ignore. One afternoon, while peeling cassava beside the kitchen, Amora overheard two village women speaking softly by the fence. "It's like Nnenna took all the light in this compound with her. You're right. The house feels cold now. Even Amora. I thought maybe this would bring her closer to people. But something feels strange." Amora dropped the knife. Her hand trembled with anger. "Strange? Me? They think I'm strange." She stormed inside and slammed the door shut. She tore off her wrapper and threw it across the room. Her eyes were wild. She paced like a lioness in a cage. "What do I have to do? I did what had to be done. She was the one they loved, now she's gone. So why is it still her name they whisper?" She stood in front of the mirror and stared into her own face. "They will forget you," she said out loud to no one. "They will. They must." But that night, as she lay on the mat, the room turned cold, unnaturally cold. The wind slipped through the cracks in the wall and carried a faint scent of river water. The candle beside her flickered violently and went out. Then came the whisper, "Amora." She sat up, heart pounding. "Amora." It came again, this time from the corner of the room. She reached for her calabash of water, but it had been overturned. The floor was wet, dripping, the same way it had been every night since Nnenna vanished, only this time, written across the floor in the spilled water, was a single word: "Why?" She gasped, falling back, her hand over her mouth. Outside, the wind picked up. Somewhere in the distance, she heard the soft giggle of a girl, a sound so familiar, it froze her blood. Nnenna's giggle, and in that moment, Amora realized something terrifying. Nnenna may be gone, but she had not left. What the villagers, her grieving parents, and even the wicked Amora didn't know was that Nnenna was still alive. On that cursed morning, when Amora's jealous hands shoved her into the forbidden river Teola, Nnenna thought it was the end. The cold current gripped her like the arms of 1,000 spirits, dragging her under, tossing her like a leaf in a storm. Her limbs flailed, her mouth filled with water, and darkness crept in, but fate was not ready to let her go. Far down the river, where the waters grew calmer and the forest thinned, a fisherman named Dyke stood waist deep in the stream. He was from Umuk, a small village beyond the hills that bordered Oborkiri. Dyke was a quiet man, known for rising before the sun and speaking more to the river than to people. That morning, as he cast his net, he felt something strange, heavy, struggling, not like fish. Alarmed, he pulled hard. Entangled in his net, coughing and unconscious, was a girl, her clothes torn, her skin pale, and her eyes fluttering like a dying candle. Dyke dropped his basket and rushed her to his bamboo hut at the edge of the water. For days, she lay on his mat, drifting in and out of consciousness, feverish and bruised. He nursed her with herbs, mashed leaves, and river stones soaked in warm water. His older sister, Mama Ifinanya, who was known for her healing hands, came daily to rub her back and whisper words of strength. It was on the third night, under the soft glow of an oil lamp, that Nnenna finally opened her eyes. Her voice was weak. "Where am I?" Dyke leaned closer, offering her water from a clay cup. "Safe," he said gently. "You're safe now." She blinked, confused. Her memory returned slowly, her sister, the river, the fall. And suddenly, the pain of betrayal slammed back into her chest. "My sister," she whispered. She tried to kill me." Dyke looked at her, not surprised. River Theola had always been cursed with secrets. He had seen strange things pulled from its belly, old dolls, torn wrappers, even bones. But never a living girl. He placed a firm hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to go back yet. Rest. Heal. The truth will find its way to the surface when it is ready." And so, Nnenna remained in Umuk, hidden from the world, her face slowly regaining its glow, though her heart remained bruised. The people of the village embraced her like one of their own, never asking too many questions. Back in Obokiri, her name was still spoken in sorrow. Her parents lit a lantern outside the compound every evening, hoping her spirit would find its way home. But the light burned for the living, not the dead. And Amara sat every day in the place where Nnenna used to sit. She wore her clothes, plaited her hair like Nnenna's, even tried to mimic her voice. But nothing filled the empty space Nnenna had left behind, nothing silenced the whispers, nothing eased the eyes that watched her with silent suspicion, and nothing explained the strange sounds that came at night, because the river had not taken Nnenna, it had only delivered her to where the truth could grow quietly, and soon, that truth would return home. Weeks passed, in the village of Obalkiri, grief still sat heavy like a dark cloud that refused to drift. Nnenna's mother had grown lean, her eyes always swollen from crying. Every time she passed by Nnenna's favorite spot under the udala tree, she would pause and whisper, "My daughter. Where are you?" Her father, once a proud hunter who brought down antelope with a single spear, now barely left the compound. His bow gathered dust, and his hunting dogs no longer barked with excitement. He just sat, staring at the hills as though expecting Nnenna to walk back over them one day, and the villagers, they spoke Nnenna's name with respect and sorrow. They shook their heads at how someone so kind could be taken by the very river they were warned never to approach. They left flowers near the path to River Theola, not daring to go closer, but in all this grief, only Amora stood untouched. In fact, something inside her was beginning to rot. She had imagined that with Nnenna gone, the world would turn to her. That her parents would finally look at her with pride. That boys would smile at her in the market. That villagers would speak her name with admiration, but none of that happened. Instead, people whispered behind her back. Some looked at her with pity. Others with suspicion. Children avoided her eyes. And worst of all, her parents seemed colder toward her than ever. One evening, after everyone had gone to bed, Amora stood in front of the mirror and screamed. "What else do I have to do? Why won't they see me? Why is it still Nnenna, even in death?" Her voice echoed in the dark, then, a sound, faint, distant, drip. She turned sharply. The floor beneath her was wet again. Just like every night, she looked down. There, in the middle of her room, written in water, were two words, "I remember." Amora gasped and stepped back. Her hands trembled. The wind blew the windows open with a sudden force, and for the first time since she pushed her sister, fear truly gripped her heart. But far away, in the neighboring village of Umuk, Nnenna was healing. She had grown stronger. Her wounds were gone, though the betrayal of her sister still lingered in her heart like a scar. Dyke and Mama Ifunanya treated her like family. They never pushed her to talk about what happened, but Nnenna knew she couldn't stay hidden forever. One morning, as she fetched water from the gentle stream near Dyke's hut, an old woman approached her. She was from Obalkiri, passing through on her way to the big market. She paused and stared at Nnenna, her eyes wide. "My child. What is your name?" Nnenna hesitated. Her heart pounded. "Nnenna," she whispered. The old woman dropped her basket. "Huh. Chimo. You're alive. The whole village mourned you. Your parents, your mother, she almost died from grief." Tears welled in Nnenna's eyes. "Please. Don't tell them yet. Not until I'm ready." The woman agreed, nodding slowly. But news, like smoke, finds its way through the tiniest cracks. Within days, whispers spread like wildfire. "Did you hear? Nnenna is alive. A fisherman saved her. She's living in Umuk." And back in Obalkiri, her parents were sitting outside when a breathless boy ran to them. Barefoot, shouting, "She's alive. Nnenna is alive." They froze. Her mother dropped her calabash. "What? What did you say?" Tears flooded her eyes. "She's in Umuk. A fisherman saved her. She's coming back." The compound exploded into chaos. Neighbors rushed in. Joy returned to the air like rain after harmattan. Drums began to beat. A goat was slaughtered in Thanksgiving, but one person didn't come out. Amora. She sat in her room, her nails digging into her palms. "She's alive. How? Why?" Panic twisted her stomach. Her secret was about to come out. That night, as the village danced in joy and sang Nnenna's name, Amora sat alone in the dark, her face pale, her hands cold, because soon, Nnenna would walk back into the village, and when she did, the truth would walk beside her. The sun had just begun to rise over the hills of Obalkiri when a figure appeared at the village gate, clad in a simple wrapper, her hair in neat braids, her feet dusty from the long walk. Nnenna had come home. At first, the guards blinked, unsure if they were seeing a spirit. But when she smiled, that gentle smile the entire village remembered, the older of the two dropped his staff. "It's her," he whispered. "It's truly her." Shouts erupted across the village. "Nnenna is back. The dead has risen. She's alive." Children ran barefoot. Women abandoned their firewood. Men clapped and raised their hands to the sky. The drums beat again, not in mourning this time, but in rejoicing, and in the family compound, her mother fell to her knees as soon as she saw her daughter, Nnenna. She sobbed. "Nnenna. My daughter. My light." Her father rushed forward, lifting her off the ground and into his arms. "We thought we had lost you forever," he cried, his voice thick with emotion. The whole village gathered, everyone, except Amora. She stood by the doorway of her room, frozen. Her lips trembled, her heart thundering. There she was, Nnenna. Alive. And stronger than ever. Their eyes met. For a moment, the world was quiet. Then Nnenna stepped forward, her voice calm and clear. "I want to tell the truth." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Nnenna took a deep breath and told the story, how Amora had lured her to River Teola, how she had begged for her life, how her own sister had pushed her into the forbidden water, and how a fisherman saved her life. Silence fell, all eyes turned to Amora. Her mother covered her mouth in shock. Her father's hands dropped to his sides, shaking. One of the elders stepped forward, his face hard with sorrow. "Amora, do you deny it?" But Amora couldn't speak. Her knees gave way, and she collapsed on the ground. "I was tired of being ignored," she whispered. "I just wanted them to see me too. To love me too." There were no more tears. Just shame. Thick and heavy, the elders of Obalkiri did not believe in vengeance. But they believed in justice, and so, Amara was banished from the village for 7 full moons. During that time, She was to live in the neighboring village and serve the widows and orphans, cooking, cleaning, and carrying water for them. She would return only after she had proven that her heart had changed. Before she left, Nnenna walked up to her and, to everyone's surprise, held her hand. "You didn't need to take my life to be loved," Nnenna said softly. "If only you had opened your heart. We could have shared the light." And with that, she let go. Amara wept for the first time, not out of anger, but from the weight of everything she had lost. Life lesson: jealousy is a fire that burns not just others, but the one who carries it. In trying to steal another's light, you may end up standing in darkness. True love and recognition come not from destroying others, but from discovering and embracing your own worth. And in the village of Obokiri, the people never forgot.